Hello and welcome. Today we're going to do something outside of the box and do an unscripted review of the Final Destination teaser so I can get it out the same day the teaser came out. And before we do anything else, we're just going to watch the teaser itself. The first thing I want you to notice is the heartbeat that happens throughout the teaser. This is very reminiscent of episode 2 where Frank, or Ladderbot 5000, hears a heartbeat after the lights go off and discovers a heart beating out of a biomechanical chest, and that leads to Sin making her first appearance in the show. Next, I want to move on to the first scene in Final Destination. It's the same hallway we ended off episode 6 with, and there's actually a few things to point out here. First, we can see that the elevator is falling, so this is after the fact. Second, V's body's missing, and there's a trail of oil. Third, there seems to be a destroyed Sentinel just sitting there to the right of the screen. And we know it's destroyed because if you actually see the clip, it's just kind of stationary there the entire time. It's not moving. Next, we see the entrance to the mine shaft, or one of the mine shaft hallways, where we'll most likely see the elevator crash. So, for example, the elevator crashes to the bottom, the characters look out and they see this scene probably right here. Or maybe it's a hallway. Who knows? It's just a picture of the mine shaft. We really have nothing to go on with this picture. However, after this picture, we will see a room detailing help on the walls over original posters and just normal desktops, nothing too special yet. Then we see Yeva's, I think, locker, and right below her name, you can see Do Not Disturb. You can also see the different numbers on the lockers, which are not in order, which signifies that it's not represented by the numberings of the locker themselves, but probably by the way they've been infected. Like Yeva's number 48, so she's probably the 48th drone to be infected with the Absolute Solver at this facility. But then again, who knows? This has actually been a long time talked about theory, but let's move on. We're not here to discuss that. Next, we'll be moving on to the next one, which is the other scene in the mine, which we can actually see the lantern that Uzi will probably pick up as shown in the thumbnail and in the teaser yesterday from, like the community post. This is probably where they'll go through and they'll see the church. And then this is just a close-up of that exact same picture. Next, we start seeing the symbols that are embroidered on the collars, which relate to the Absolute Solver somehow. The more and more I actually look at these pictures, along with the next ones, the church, I kind of just think either Dead Space or Resident Evil. I actually am leaning more towards Dead Space because if you keep going, actually, let's stop there. Let's go back. Let's go back. I'll talk about it more later with the other pictures, but long story short, it's we're getting very occult vibes with a lot of monstrosities running around. If you've ever played Dead Space, it's basically it's unknown technology creating monsters, and then this cult spreads it, and because they're praising it, so kind of rings a bell here. But yeah, otherwise it's just the church close up. And that's the next part. It's a screen that just says, not to be over dramatic, but core collapse. So, first episode of the series, we saw the core collapse, planet explodes, everyone dies but the drones, and it seems like a screen keeps repeating it. In fact, it shows up later. And this is the inside of the church. We see something in the distance, we're getting closer. We then see the monitor that actually displays the core collapse message that's still going on for some reason, like 20 something years later. We get closer, we get closer. It's a pit. What kind of pit is it? It's, of course, the goopy pit with a lot of rib-like bones. Oh, what could be inside, I wonder. And this picture is actually very interesting. So, if you've seen the older teaser pictures, I'll pop one up right on the screen. If you actually look to the left, you'll see the top of the cavern or cave that this cathedral's in. But it really makes this look, this picture in general, really looks like it's out in the world and that there's clouds. In fact, if you look directly above the towers, it's almost like a portal to another world, kind of. It's a weird picture. It's really making me think of Remnant 2 in a way. I don't know. It kind of I'm thinking of the other world possibility here is what I'm really thinking about here. It looks like it's getting connected to another reality or something's happening here. I don't know. But this does not look like a cave to which we just plot the cathedral, and it looks like another dimension to where the cathedral's above ground. I don't get it. It's weird. But then again, everything with the solver is weird, so maybe this is just an environment that looks different. It could just simply appear different and not actually be different. Who knows? But it's also a possibility that we might be led into a scenario where the absolute solver isn't originally from the same universe the drones are from. They're from a different one, and it just, flops over, starts infecting to do what it did before. Basically, basically, I'm posing the idea that the absolute solver comes from a different world, universe, plane of existence, whatever. It completed its goal, and after it completed its goal, it went to this one to do it all over again. But that's just an idea. What this probably is it's probably like a portal to Earth or some other planet. We could actually probably see that. It also just makes more sense in general, especially because of the scenes we're going to see very shortly. But this other world idea also could work. I don't know. This show's very unpredictable. This looks like some kind of portal. I don't really know what it is, but I'm sure we'll find out. Moving on. Next, we see just Sin's tendrils coming out of that hole in the church they were discussing. I don't know what she's doing, but I think N's expression says it all here. You're just worried in general could be the common emotion here. Next, we actually see what I presume to be a flashback to when all the humans were there. If you see this one guy on the right, I'll circle him right here. He shows up quite a bit through this entire teaser. I don't know why. Maybe he's the guy who will like record the entire scenario, and then Uzi will see it. I assume that's his significance to this entire thing, but I don't know. I don't think he's alive anymore. That's for sure. But then again, like I've said, who knows? Then we see Uzi infected by the solver. We see whatever that is. It kind of looks like, once again, a ritual thing happening here in this room. Who knows? Then we see Tessa overshadowing Uzi, which could imply that she's going to attack her or something. Maybe take her life. I don't know. But the fact that she's looking down on her and the way she is in this scene instead of them just being presented next to each other. Seems like she's ready to strike. Who knows? But there she is. Then we see Uzi staring at the screen. Like I said, is she gonna see this flashback that we've been hinted at like for 4 months now? Is this where she sees it? I don't know, but it's there. Also, yo, Ninja Star, it's there. Call back.
I want a freaking ninja star.
We also see the exact same screen. It's closed up. Well, it's just a close up, and then we see the cross of that she's holding right in front of it. For some reason, I don't know. There's definitely some religious segments in the coming videos or episodes. Oh boy. Oh, also, the best part of the entire video, the part that has nothing to do with the actual show, it's just a dog. I genuinely enjoyed this. And then there's this scene that we saw actually in the teaser, the one where she gets up and then immediately crushes N's hand.
Together?
Then a scene where they're opening the church's doors and the lights flooding in. It's a lot of insignificant photos here. And then we see Nori's badge again. This looks like the outside world, which was why sorry. I'm gonna pause for a second. Which is why I was kind of going for the whole portal route, because for them to go from the mines to the surface, it's gonna take a little bit. But with the power of portals or teleportation, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because this looks like they're back in the city. I don't know where this is, but I can see a car and I can see a street lamp, and that's really not much. But it's probably not underground. Then we can see a half and half smile with N's face. He's showing teeth. The other side is not. He's showing the X. I have no idea what's going on, but maybe he goes for the kill here. Maybe Uzi dies. I don't know. Maybe she survives. Maybe he's being controlled by Sin. Like, nobody knows here. Although Uzi is his administrator at this point, but then again, the Absolute Solver owns all, so who knows? I assume this is the inside of the church. I don't know if it is. It looks like it is. I can't really tell. And this is that guy I was talking about again. I think this is the guy who records everything very early on. We just see the flashback of him and probably Yeva and Nori, but I don't think he's going to have much purpose beyond that. Then we see Uzi has her right eye hurt for some reason, and lo and behold, the very next scene is Doll, I think probably standing over her doing something else, with foreshadowing because her eye is covered up in the exact same spot. So the eyes definitely mean something. We've actually talked about this before, but this just emphasizes it. And then back to the hole. And that's it. That's all the scenes in the new teaser. Man, there's a lot to talk about, and there's too much to unravel in one video. But what we can say is that things are getting real. But let's look at a few points for the cover. One, something happened to V's body, and she's probably coming back in a form that's not pleasant either. I think the Elder Lich V is happening. Two, Uzi and Tessa are going to constantly be separated and meeting up throughout the next two episodes, if not just episode 7. And it seems like all of them are going to get their own views and perspectives, which are going to lead to miscommunications and mistrust. Other than that, we don't really have much to go off of unless you want to include Infection, Uzi and Doll losing their minds, Insanity going out the window. You know, there's not much to discuss. Uh, Plenty to talk about with the good old doggo, though, you know? No, but catastrophe is going to happen at the church. we're gonna see a lot of flashbacks and where we're gonna see a lot of distrust as well as new enemies pop up, and that's gonna be it really. That's what you can expect from a new episode. I also am probably leaving other things out. I haven't checked up on the merch um, that was leaked, but that's supposed to be spoiling some of the actual episodes, so I didn't want to check it out, and I did not want to include it in an episode if I did check it out, so I don't know. I don't know. Don't take this as fact. I don't know. Which is honestly better for the audience because you want to be surprised when you see everything. This was really just so that you can see every scene in that teaser, because let's be honest, no one saw every scene in that teaser. It went way too fast, but now you can. There you go. Merry Christmas. All right, bye.